Alrighty. We are live. Excellent. When was the last time I went live? Let me just check. Debate incoming. Mr. IBT is just getting set up, so we will wait on him. This is totally random, this debate. What's he said here? He said Spence and Inoue. Yeah, I'm just reading. Sorry, people. I just gotta check when I went live last. Totally unplanned until like 5 minutes ago, so yeah. I'm just waiting for what's your name again? IBT. It's International. Yeah, Immortal. Okay. Immortal Boxing Truth. That's cool. 3 days ago. Okay. 3 days ago feels like a week on YouTube. Okay. This is gonna be light work. So yeah. Come on. This is I don't even know how to pronounce this dude's name. Naoya Inoue. That's my best attempt at it. But this video and stream itself, totally random. So I'm just waiting on my let's just say co-host or opponent or whatever, and I'm just waiting to he brought up the idea that Inoue and Spence, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in his 6th fight he fought for the WBC. So I don't quite understand. Let me just see. I gotta continuously check the stream to see when I can bring him in. He's held the WBC. He's held the he's okay. He's moved up. Yeah. This is gonna be pretty easy. But we'll see, man. Very rarely do you get people on YouTube who have at least decent boxing knowledge, because there's probably more trolls than sensible people. But totally irrelevant, man. Totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. I mean, my thing is how long it takes to get set up, but I don't care really. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Man, BoxRec just keeps on loading. I don't understand. But yeah, wait a bit longer, obviously. My mic must be working. Hold on, I gotta get rid of this shit. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. You know what's funny? I don't even know where my speakers are on my computer. I mean, they're at the bottom, at the back, I think. But, hopefully I won't have to share screen as much because it's just a pain in the ass. They're all Spence. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. There's one there. I mean, this is going to be pretty hard. Like, we're comparing someone with less fights who's fought in more championship bouts. So I'm just really unsure as to how this is even fair. If we're talking about who's beaten champions and everything, I mean, what is it? Flyweight all the way up to bantamweight? Oh, look, world bantamweight and super world bantam. I don't understand how that works. The IBF world bantamweight and then WBA super world bantamweight. This dude might as well fight a featherweight. If he's that confident and, you know. Oh, here he is. How are we? Welcome.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, your mic is good.
All right, cool. What's up, man?
Well, we are, I mean, per your request, going to discuss / debate, whatever. Who is, well, I mean, who is better on the pound for pound list? Who's, above? Who else? Spence and Inoue.
Yeah. I said I believe Inoue is, or should be, technically it's objective, but for the sake of debate, I think he should be above Errol Spence Jr. on a pound for pound list.
Okay, and why?
Um, I think his accolades, his accomplishments in the sport, the champions that he's beaten, the top 10 opponents he's defeated, and especially the fashion in which he's defeated them. I think it's better than Spence.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in his sixth fight, he managed to get the WBC World Light Fly. He fought at light fly. I never knew that. He went right from light fly all the way to superfly, and he fought a man by the name of Adrian Hernandez, who I've never heard of. I'm guessing that's the first champion he beat, world champion, and then he fought this other dude. I'm very confused, man.
Are you
Like,
talking about Besapine?
which one? No,
Um,
no, no. The one before that, Hernandez,
Before Hernandez?
Adrian Hernandez, because the other two are not. They're just domestic level.
Who other two? What do you mean?
If you hold on, let me bring this damn thing up.
I mean, you can just tell me the names, and I know.
I'm gonna butcher these names. Rio. I'm not just gonna do last.
Ryochi Taguchi.
Yeah, and then Mancio.
Okay, yeah. So Taguchi at the time, that was for the Japanese title, but if you look shortly after, I want to say maybe 3 fights later, he becomes a world champion. He retains that championship for a while until he loses in the unification. Not unification, sorry. He actually successfully unifies with Milan Malindo, and then he loses a very close decision to Heki Butler, and most recently he lost to Kosei Tanaka. But he had a solid reign as a champion. However, I will not include that as a champion defeated because that was something that happened afterwards. To me, that's like saying Floyd Mayweather defeated a light heavyweight champion in Canelo. Just context with time period.
Yeah,
I don't count that as a champion, but I do think it's a good win.
I mean, let me go to Errol for a minute. What was that dude's record? See, this is the same thing that people say about Dillian White
Hmm.
when they talk about him being a good win for Joshua, right? Because I think it's a good win, but you can't say that's a good win and then turn around and say Gerald Washington's a good win because I go with at the time of when you fought someone. After it's all good. I like it at the time. That's why a lot of people criticize, Floyd for fighting Cotto at a certain time or other people. But just let me look at Errol Spence for a minute. You really love this Inoue, don't you?
I like him. I like Spence too, though. In all fairness,
Spence, man down, Spence. Boy, when he loses, he's not going to take it well. I can
who?
just tell. All right. So let me look at Inoue again as well. Because I remember him mostly from what was that Hispanic dude? Rodriguez and Donario. And he did not look good against Donario. And that was probably his toughest fight? Who are these
that
guys
that
though? Like,
that was one of his tougher fights. Well, you asking who are these guys? I can answer for you. I don't mind.
hold on, just wait. Kono 32-9. That's not good. And then you got Herd, who's 35-7, and then you got Perennes 24-6. No, I know Navir's the 140, however you pronounce it. I know
Omar
he
Narvaez.
43-1, and then the one after Hernandez 17-4. That's these people aren't. I think Rodriguez and maybe a couple others. But like, come on, man, the competition level is not as good. It's
I
not.
mean, you're choosing the guys who happen to not be rated. I'll say the guy, Witawas Basapian, like I was saying, the guy who fought after Hernandez. That guy wasn't, not why I would put him pound for pound.
Okay.
Um, I wouldn't say Warlito, Carmona, um, Jaro Pionerd. These aren't the guys why I would put him pound for pound. Ricardo Rodriguez, Antonio Nieves. That's not why I put him pound for pound. These guys are, just normal contenders, nothing particularly special.
Okay, so who are the names on the resume who make him pound for pound?
Okay, I would say guys like Adrian Hernandez, who was top three WBC champion. I would say Omar Andres Narvaez, who was top three, very long reigning. I believe he has a record for the most defenses. His record in title fights at the time was 29 1-1 with 12 KOs, which is extremely long title reign. I can tell you some of the guys he faced as well that were notable. He did lose to Nonito Donaire, but that was at the weight class that when he moved up, when he moved back down, he saw success again, and he had a long reign before that. I would say guys like Kohei Kono were top 10, former champion. Most of his work, I would say the bulk of his work, anyways, is done at bantamweight. When he fights Jamie McDonald's top three WBA champion, Juan Carlos Payana, who's a top three. Former champion, Emmanuel Rodriguez, who was top three in the IBF champion, and then he has Nonito Donaire, who is also top three. That's a unification. That's a future Hall of Famer on most people's lists. Former pound for pound, you know, former ring champion as well.
So that's five you've mentioned.
Those are just like the top three guy. I named one top 10 guy. I mean, I can also mention his record in title fights. I can say that he's defended his unified title, or his record in unified title fights. I can say his record against top 10 rated opponents. I can say his records against top 3 rated opponents. I can say he's defeated a Hall of Famer. Um, I can mention the titles he's held, the divisions he's traversed, the fact that he's a Ring Magazine champion.
Ring Magazine. Oh boy. All right. You make a good case, man. But I mean, not the only thing, but my thing is bantamweight is not. Clearly, it isn't. It's clearly not the same as welterweight. Where welterweight is just such a hard division. The competition difference is immense, right? I mean, I look at in a way, half these dudes are from Japan, right? Or
What, what,
Thailand or
what's that got to
Philippines,
do with
right?
anything?
Huh?
I mean, Jamie McDonald, he's not. Juan Carlos Payano, he's not. Emmanuel Rodriguez, he's not.
No,
Nonito
but
Donaire is
no, but you cut
Filipino,
me off.
but
So you
he's
didn't hear. You didn't
oh
hear. You cut me off. Yeah, because I'm saying most of them are from maybe Japan or China or whatever, but some of the other ones like Rodriguez, they are of his Hispanic South American background. What I'm saying is, like, let me check the actual pound. Hold on, let me check pound for pound. Let me just see because everyone uses different rankings. I mean, to be honest, man, this conversation can go wherever. So I'm not really fussed about a certain topic.
yeah. I mean, let me ask you, what are your pound for pound criteria?
Uh, I mean, I'd have to really be nitpicky. Wow, he's number three.
Who?
Oh, this is what the ring got him as. Okay, so they got Canelo, Vasily, Inoue, Crawford. How can you have? I don't know what Golovkin's doing there. Estrada, I don't. Spence should be, in my opinion.
No, I think Estrada also has a higher claim for Spence, but
I can't put Canelo there because he cheated.
I think Triple G is basically just there off of the Derevyanchenko win, and the fact that he lost to a pound for pound guy doesn't remove him from the list. Although at this point I see him as a fighter on the decline, so when people don't include him, I don't necessarily rebuttal.
What do you think? We've got Artur Beterbiev. He's good. I like him. Pacquiao. Um, do
Pacquiao
you
should be
feel
higher.
heavyweights should be on the pound for pound?
That's one that I've kind of had some difficulty with, and I've decided for me, I won't put him. So Usyk, unfortunately, is no longer on my pound for pound. But if he were, I'd put him in the top five solidly. I'd put him above Spence as well, but I don't know. I don't know if that's what you were going at.
No, I mean like like Fury. Like if you were to or Joshua, would you put him in a pound for pound or no?
Well, my thing, pound for pound, it's part resume, part eye test, right? But I just really exclude heavyweights because we know in a real fight, no matter how many top three champions, how many Hall of Famers, how many pound for pounders Inoue beats, he could go all the way to middleweight, right? And if he's knocking dudes out at middleweight, he'd still get knocked out by Anthony Joshua just because like the size thing. So
Well,
I don't include them just because I think their pound for pound with heavyweights included would just be the heavyweight rankings.
all
Like
right.
like
But
Kubrat Pulev would destroy Inoue. You know what I mean?
I know that. I mean, I think Spence would destroy it in a way as well. I mean, in a way, just look, man. Maybe it's just a subjective thing with me, but like, and I do like Spence, and I think it's right that Crawford is actually above Spence, if I'm honest. Just because of Crawford's other accolades, and he's beaten a lot of good guys. I can't put Canelo there though, because he's a cheat. I mean, who else is a cheat on here? Um, Not many, but there is a bit of speculation on that. I
I mean,
mean,
there's speculation with Spence. I don't like to speculate though. I don't think that's really fair.
what speculation is there with Spence?
People say it. I don't really care to spread it. I'm just saying I
Or
don't. I don't.
about his freaking physique, about his nipples?
I don't want to talk about his nipples.
No, we're not. I mean, there's a picture when he's 15, man, and this is the thing though. Anyone with PBC is going to be targeted. They love to do that. Whether it's Spence, whether it's Wilder, whether it's um, Sean Porter, well, I'm not even sure. Was Sean Porter in the pound for pound? I'm sure he's pound for pound.
No, no, he's not been.
Not right now, but
No, no. I mean, even at his highest point in his career, wherever you want to call that, he's not been pound for pound.
wow, look at this. We got Pulev at number 10. I'm going to heavyweights now.
Okay.
Rivas number 9, Hunter number 8, Parker number 7, Povetkin number 6, Ruiz
Well,
number 5.
well, these aren't
August,
updated for like what recently happened, right? I think
this has
these
not
are the
been updated.
rankings. These are the rankings from like March or something like that.
August 15th.
Where do you see that?
I'm looking on Ring.
Yeah, but where does it say it was updated August? Oh, yeah. So they haven't included the Povetkin knockout victory over Dillian White, which probably puts Povetkin in the top five at the very least, top three at the highest.
Where is this thing of White being number 2, Wilder being number 3? I don't understand.
Just because Wilder's coming off a loss. I personally would put him at number three, and then Dillian at number four prior to the knockout. But right now, off the top of my head, rankings probably AJ, Fury. Either way you want to have those two guys. Then I'd have Wilder, Andy Ruiz, Povetkin, Dillian White, Joseph Parker, um, Michael Hunter, Luis Ortiz, like some combination of Luis Ortiz, Rivas, and I don't want to put Pulev. I feel like there's someone else. You could put Pulev, but I feel like the area between 9 and 12, you can interchange any of those guys to fill out 8, 9, and 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Pulev. Oh man, what do you think of then in the Joshua fight? Who
I
you
think
got
I
for that?
think I think Joshua's gonna decapitate him worse than Klitschko did.
Oh my god, it's such a bad style matchup for Pulev because um after that Ruiz rematch, I'm really high on Joshua now because the way he boxed was really nice. Like that was the sweet science right there. That's one of my favorite fights to watch because I just love that adjustment. I mean, he lost to Ruiz, and I mean he can mix it up now because Pulev's just jab, double jab, right hook, grab, hit you in the back of the head, repeat. So
Yeah, I think his
because
style plays into AJ's very nicely in terms of I think it's almost tailor made for AJ, not on purpose, obviously, but
have you seen the size difference between the two?
yeah, Pulev's quite a bit smaller.
He's a lot smaller because
Yeah,
I saw him against Klitschko and he looked the same height. But then I saw back in 2017 when Joshua, um, they were doing like the press conference face off, and Joshua just fucking towered over him, and he's just like looking down because Pulev's not a small guy, but I think Joshua just makes everyone look small because he's such a big dude. And
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's going to be a pretty bad beating for Pulev, and he's talking a lot of shit as well. So I don't think Joshua's going to be very happy. I would like to see Hunter against someone up there. Who have you got in the rematch with Povetkin and White? Oh, you told me this, but I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't really made my mind up. I think same way in the first fight, I thought Povetkin could just knock him out with a punch. Povetkin got serious power. He's got the hooks and the uppercuts that give Dillian White trouble, but at the same time, maybe the turnaround combined with Dillian White coming in good shape again. I mean, before he got caught with that vicious uppercut, I thought he was dominating the fight. So,
I
you know,
mean, the first round was competitive, but I gave it to White. And the second round, I definitely gave to White. And the third round, I gave to Povetkin. And then the
oh, you
fourth
did
round was a 10-7 round because
knock
he
him down
knocked
twice.
twice. And then Dillian went to sleep, man. He went to sleep. He went good night. I'm just fixing this. He went good night. And he hasn't corrected the mistakes he's made 5 years ago. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but that same shot, uppercuts in the first Chisora fight, uppercuts in the Rivas fight,
AJ fight.
Joshua fight uppercut, the second Chisora fight uppercuts, and now this uppercut.
Yeah, he's got a real big issue with putting all of his weight on his front foot and bending at the waist. What that does is it puts well, first of all of his center of gravity is now facing down, doesn't see any punches coming. His hands aren't really, he's not protecting himself. His chin is exposed. It's really a terrible defensive option. He said in the post-fight interview that he almost did nothing wrong, but he got caught. I disagree. When I saw him doing that throughout the fight, even the round that he got 10-7, when he knocked down Povetkin twice, I wasn't, liking the way he was doing that. I thought it was really dangerous, and then it proved to be when he got knocked out.
I'm telling you, man, this narrative that people are putting around, a lot of mad people, man, that they're not taking this loss very well, but they got to accept it, man, because I predicted Povetkin would win. I said the way he throws his shots is bad for Dillian. And there were improvements with Dillian. I thought his feints were really good. I thought his footwork actually looked all right. He was in and out a couple of times, stepping pretty nicely. I thought the jab was good, but he keeps bringing it back to his chest,
Mm-hmm.
which you can't do because Povetkin, he was looking to shoot the overhand. So he thought, that's not working. I'm going to try the uppercut to the body, and then boom, good night. Slept. Did you hear the sound of when he fell?
Yeah, I mean, there was no. The only other sound was me kind of jumping around, but yeah, that was pretty vicious knockout.
I jumped around. Oh, man, I freaked out. It was crazy. He hit him. That's the first shot. Then his head hit the canvas. But then it bounced off the canvas and it hit it again. So that's 3 shots in a row. And then you can see the little billboard, the little promotion sign just fall off the ring.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you watched the match room and the DAZN, the behind the scenes, but Tony Bellew was really encouraging Dillian and everything. But I mean, how do you think Dillian, if he gets past this rematch, because I think Dillian will win, and I do want him to win it, despite him talking shit so much. But if he gets past Povetkin, how do you think he fares up against those big 3, the Wilder, the Fury, and the Joshua? Like, how do you think he does?
Um, yeah, I mean, there will always be the question about his chin. He's proven he can get up and win a fight, but he's also been dropped quite a few times in his career. And I think he's one of the only, he's only, I guess he is the only top heavyweight to be really separated from his consciousness. Any guy that's in the top eight, even, I mean, Pulev was separated from his consciousness against Klitschko. Ruiz lost on points. Parker lost on points. Wilder got stopped, but he was standing out. Fury is undefeated. AJ got stopped, but he was standing up. He's the only guy to go night night, really. You know what I mean? So I think there will always be questions about his chin. I think Tyson Fury's got a good skill set, would probably beat him on points, although I do think his body work would give Fury some trouble. I think AJ beats him again. I just think AJ's best punch is the uppercut, and Dillian's, the punch he's most vulnerable to is the uppercut. I still think he loses to the top three, but there's a chance. I mean, like we saw last week, heavyweight division, anything can happen. He's getting better though. I thought he looked good up until the knockout.
Yeah, he's not a garbage. A lot of the LDBC who I'm heavily associated with really hate Dillian. I don't really hate Dillian. I like the guy. I'm actually inspired by his story, but he's not garbage. He just makes a lot of mistakes, and he came up against a guy that really fucking like exposed it badly. I think Joshua has his number all day. Like, he hurt Joshua in that first fight, and he couldn't get the job done. It's the same with this fight, really. He couldn't get it done. Like, if White's gonna hit you,
Couldn't finish him.
yeah, he's gonna like put you out like Chisora style or Lucas Brown style. One hitter quitter, and that is it. I think he beats Fury, which a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but the way that Dillian fights is bad for Fury because Fury's got bad body defense. If someone throws a lot of jabs at Fury, he'll slip one or two, but he'll get hit with the follow-up, especially to the body. I think Fury will lose that fight because everyone, there's upsets, man. And Dillian's not the only one that's going to get upset. Fury's going to get upset one day. And one day it's going to be against a guy like White, because White is a dog. And if he goes to your body and you're a big guy that, has his hands down at your body and everything, it's going to test you. And I think Wilder's the worst style matchup because he's agile. He's got really awkward, weird movement, especially in his upper body. The speed difference is tremendous. The angles and that right hand, it will land. It will land and it will decapitate him. That's my view of those big three.
Yeah, I think he'd have to absolutely just full commit rush Wilder. The longer that fight goes, the worse it gets for White. I think anything past the sixth round is getting into serious, dangerous territory for White.
I'll tell you this: anything that fight, Wilder will do whatever he wants because the style matchup is terrible for White. And a weird thing for me is that when Dillian, boxing master, parkour master, good to see you. You're always in my chat, man. It's good to see. Back in 2018, when Dillian beat Brown, I thought I want to see him fight Wilder because I was very confident he could beat Wilder back then because he had some pretty good performances since he lost. But as time went on, I became less confident because he fought guys like Parker and even that second rematch with Chisora, and I thought, damn, like, probably not, Let me just look at the chat here. 114 days till we get to see what Deontay means when he says eye for an eye. Oh, really? What's 114 days till now? The rematch, the trilogy. Let me see. I go from now. Fuck. From today. Yeah, okay, 20th of December, 19th, because it's different back then. Yeah, I mean, who you got in that fight? IBT? Trilogy?
Fury by TKO.
All right. What round? You know, or you just general.
I'm just gonna guess the fifth.
Fuck, that's a bold prediction, man. You really think it's gonna be that quick?
I don't think it's gonna be a quickness thing. I just don't see what adaptation is feasible for Deontay Wilder to make, and I think Fury's just gonna push the action earlier, maybe at a higher pace.
Well, for one, not getting hit in the back of the head and having an MMA fight.
I
That's
don't know what he can do to stop that. That's what I'm saying.
um
Like even if that's the issue, which I don't think is the entire issue, I don't know what he would do to stop
you know what the other issue is, but I'm not going to talk about it because I'm a bit tired
the
of it. But
the ability for Fury to out jab him. Definitely.
jabbing, man, you go watch the first fight, my friend. You go watch that first fight.
No, I watched the second fight. That's the one we're talking about.
I know, but they had two fights, and in those two fights, everything is very relevant. But yes, he jabbed him, not by too much though. Those first two rounds were pretty close.
The
But
first one was relatively competitive. I still gave it to Fury, but I didn't think like seeing that round, I would have had no clue that the fight was going to take the trajectory that it did.
no, I didn't either. But I mean, hey, we'll see what Big Wilder says when he comes out. Who is your favorite heavyweight, by the way?
Me? I don't know if I've got a favorite heavyweight like that.
Like that, okay.
I've got a
One you're
couple guys
most
I
fond of.
like. I got some guys I don't particularly care for.
Okay. Who's the one that you're most invested in, at least interested in? Or is it kind of a tie?
It's a tie between a bunch of guys. Like I said, I don't really. I thought I was a. Not that I'm not, but I thought I was the AJ fan. And when I saw Reese knock him down, I jumped up in excitement. And I went, "Wait, I'm supposed to be rooting for this guy." You know, when Fury got cut by Wallin, auto volley, and I started tuning in. That's when I got at the edge of my seat. When Wilder got beat by Fury, I was at the edge of my seat. When the only one I guess I was bummed out about was Reese losing, but that was because he didn't even show up. You know what I mean? He didn't turn up, and AJ did. So it was just so clear after like the second round that it was going to be that type of fight. I like Parker. He's a cool guy. White's cool too. I guess he got what he had coming though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he did. Oh, did he ever? Um, Let me just look through some more. When are you going live next? Or is it just whenever you feel like it?
Yeah, whenever I feel like it. Maybe after the fight this weekend. Not sure if I'm gonna do a video or a live.
Okay, cool. Let me see. I definitely don't want to see that Canelo fight with that Avni dude. Let me
With
see.
Yildirim?
Yeah, I don't want to see that. Who wants to see that shit?
Yeah, I don't particularly care to watch either. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think what's probably gonna happen is they're gonna put him in there with Callum Smith.
Callum Smith. Ooh, he's gonna get eaten up.
Who?
Callum's getting eaten up.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's not many guys I would favor against Canelo.
Who would you favor?
I'd have to go up to light heavyweight, and even then, it flops every other week.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know any 168 pounders at this point who could beat him, or 160.
160. I think Charlo.
I think he's got a bad style for Canelo.
I think Charlo, Andrade, and Chris Eubank Jr. Those are the three, I reckon.
Chris Eubank?
Yeah.
Nah, man, that guy definitely loses. He got outpointed decisively by past his prime George Groves.
Nah, bro. I call that fight a draw.
Okay, he drawed with the past his prime George Groves.
Past his prime. Fuck past prime, man. Fuck
What do you mean?
what past prime?
Are
He
you
was
saying
good
that was
there.
the prime? Okay, yeah, but also you
You gotta
okay,
turn me
okay,
into
okay.
BFTB, man.
Let
And
me
you
let
know
me
what that's like.
let me explain what I mean past his prime. He looks good against someone, right? I would say a guy I really like, Nonito Donaire looked
No, fuck.
good
Yeah,
against Inoue. However, I would still say he's past his prime. Is that fair?
maybe. IBT is an Anthony Joshua fan. Big up. Supposedly, what are you talking about, man? You gotta check Instagram Boxing Master. Um, how do you think? I'm freestyling this. How do you think Kovalev versus Stevenson would have gone?
Me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Uh,
And the
probably
chat. Yeah, why not the chat?
probably favor Kovalev, but I think that's like a 55, like a near 50-50. I just 55-45. I'd favor Kovalev slightly. I wouldn't be shocked if Stevenson won. Just favor Kovalev is all.
Yeah, well, Kovalev didn't want that one. 5 and 6. All right, cool. Um, yeah, I mean, he avoided that one badly. Um, and I think the style of Stevenson's bad because it's very heavy body punching, um, sharp counters, good jabs, and just overall his. I think he'd handle Kovalev. He'd handle Kovalev pretty good. Deshaun Thompson says Wilder in 8, Spence in 10, and Pulev in 6. I'm guessing you're saying Wilder 8 round knockout, Spence 10 round, and then you
Pulev
picking
beats
Pulev to
AJ
win?
in 6 rounds. No, I don't think
No.
Prime. I don't think Prime Pulev beats AJ. I think he also gets his head taken off.
Well, I mean, I've had Pulev lose to Chisora. I mean, but that fight was in Germany. I thought he lost that fight. Chisora landed like 60 body jabs around. Like he just went to his body the whole time, and he outworked him there. And when Pulev threw, he was just hitting that crossarm guard, George Foreman style. Like it, Pulev is getting battered. Like the only way he can win is if he just holds Joshua and just keeps hitting him in the back of the head without the ref seeing too much, and because that's
Maybe
his style.
maybe
Jab,
if you were to
right hand,
elbow
back the
him
head.
and get an armbar off, maybe you'll beat AJ. But even then,
No, he'll get killed because Joshua looks good now. He looks better than ever, in my opinion. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
because he can brawl and he can box really well on the back foot as it shows, and But who do you think? Because he hasn't had a fight in a while or a fight proposed. Who do you think Luis Ortiz is going to fight next? Because you tuned into my stream for this one a couple weeks ago.
Who will he fight next? See that one, I have no clue really. It might just be some random heavyweight in the rankings. He is coming off a loss. He's a little, up there in age, to say the least. Probably needs a fight to unrust. It's probably just a tune-up fight next. What fight would I like to see though? I'd like him versus Andy Reid or something along those lines.
Um, yeah, it's a good take. Pulev, I was just joking. To be honest, I never seen him fight. Pulev will beat AJ. No, oh yeah, you questioned that. Hey, IBT, have you watched Fanon International Boxing?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not acquainted with that individual.
You're not a quite what? Do you have a bad thing with him or just?
No, I just don't. I just don't know them.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. No, just asking. That's all. Um, who else? I want Ortiz versus Char. I want that.
Take
You
that
know
belt.
Char.
You want him to take that belt?
Yes, he should take that belt. Al Heyman should give Char a ridiculous payday, and Ortiz can whoop that ass, and he can retire Char, and that is that. That is it. And he will become the first Cuban heavyweight champion. And I know what people are going to say.
No,
The,
no,
the
don't do
belt was
that.
the Povetkin. All AJ fans, all these AJ fans. Oh, Povetkin was a former world champion. But then if Ortiz was to get that fight and win that same belt that he held, he's a world champion, is he not? Like
Um,
he
I
is.
don't know, man. To me, I like Povetkin You can call him a former champion if you like him. However, in all reality, that regular title has been greatly devalued by Manuel Char, like single-handedly devalued, in my opinion. You look at guys,
Yeah, well,
let's say Joshua Franco, right? The Maloney brother, Rene Alvarado. Those guys, WBA regular champions. I still respect them and consider them champions. But Manuel Char is just such a pathetic excuse for a champion that I feel he's individually and single-handedly devalued the entire sanctioning body's belt. Just the regular title has been completely devalued due to this one man.
yeah. I mean, you're not wrong there. I mean, he won it against Ustinov. I think that was in Germany as well. But I feel like if Ortiz got his hands on that, he'd fucking fight because he likes to fight. You can't find a fight for the life of him, which is very strange. But um, I mean, I don't disagree. I completely agree with that. Like he's not fought in like 3-4 years. It's just an absolute joke. I do not hate many boxers in boxing, but I do not like Manuel Chan. I don't like Jerome Miller. Deshaun Thompson says I want Mayweather versus Pacquiao too. No. No, 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 no. We're not getting that. That was a pretty bad fight to watch. That hurt my eyes. I did not enjoy that at all. Um yeah, Pacquiao just in my opinion came for a payday on that one. So that is whack as hell. What other upcoming fights are there? We've got Spence Garcia, we know about that one.
Are you watching the fight this weekend?
What is this weekend? What's this weekend?
There's a PBC card, but it's not very good. I think the main event is Lara versus Greg Vendetti.
Uh,
It's definite tune-up fight, but you on ESPN Plus, I think ESPN for sure, top rank, right? It's Jose Ramirez is defending his WBO, WBC titles versus Victor Postol.
Man, Lara looks like anorexic and shit.
Yeah, I don't know why they're still giving him these types of fights. Just put him in a big fight or tell him to retire. In all honesty.
Here is Lonnie. Let's see how old he is. 37.
All right, so he's like 40.
No, he's 37 years old. You
Official.
guys are like, oh, because he's 30, he's over 35, he's 40. He's not.
No, no, no. I just add
Greg
like 3 years
Vandetti.
generally. I mean, that's how it works. If you want to look at, let's say, for example, you watch MMA at all, UFC?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you know Yoel Romero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even he said, out of his own mouth, that Luis Ortiz's real age is likely 3 years older because these guys all trained together in the Olympic training facility over there in Cuba, and he said Ortiz is 3 years older. And that was a couple years ago. So whatever his age is, you just add three, and that's generous. That's like he's 44 is the guess
What is
according
this
to
thing?
Romero.
What is this thing about his age, though? I don't understand.
So they don't
Is it
have.
a bad thing?
No, it's not, I mean, not necessarily. Some people try to discredit fighters for being older. I want to give him props in a way because I mean, who would look that competitive in a world championship fight at the age of 40? Anything, right?
Mm.
Very few fighters, and even though Luis Ortiz has underperformed as a pro and arguably an amateur, he's still, he's still a good fighter in my opinion, boxer. Maybe not to the degree that some people hype him up to be, but I'm also not gonna just crap all over him, right? The people like the fighters that come from Cuba, I believe they don't have official birth certificates, so they just kind of it's a word of mouth.
Yeah,
What your
well,
birthday and what your age is.
it was on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's where it was.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where he talked about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that Lara fight. That was, I mean, I don't know what he does now. If he wins, who's he fight next? The winner of Charlo and Rosario, because that's a dangerous fight for Charlo as well.
I mean, before the unification was in talks, before everything, the whole COVID thing, I did hear that he reached out to the WBC to fight Lara, but obviously that didn't materialize. Instead, he opted to go the Jason Rosario route for three belt unification.
Mm. Yeah, I'm trying to. I was looking back at that Herd fight. Those two were in different weight divisions on that night. I mean, the size difference between Lara and Herd was just crazy as well. Do you watch the UFC?
Yeah, I'm more of a casual fan though than in boxing, but I recognize some marquee names, top 10 guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier, your boy lost,
Yeah, yeah.
man.
Yeah, he did. That was unfortunate.
God, freaking eye pokes. He got cheated. He got cheated. He
Hey
didn't
man,
have
it happens.
loaded gloves though.
It happens. I don't know. It sucked.
That's bullshit. That was crap. I watched that. I'm like, man, stop the fight and give him a minute rest so that I can heal. The way that Cormier fucking got dropped there, oh my god! Like he was like a starfish on the fence, and then he was just grabbing Miocic by the hips,
Yeah.
and I was just shaking my head watching it. Like, nah, this isn't going to plan at all. I think you cut out, man. I think you
No,
cut out.
no, I'm still here. I'm just listening.
Okay, yeah, I thought you cut out. What fight are you looking forward to? Loma and Lopez. You asked me about that a while back.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I want Lopez to win.
I think Lomachenko will win. However, I'm rooting for Lopez.
Loma's boring, man. I'm sorry.
You're the only person I know who's ever said that.
Really? I'm
Yeah,
sure. I'm sure. I'm not the only person that said that.
I, I haven't heard another person say that.
All right, hold on. I'm bringing BFTB in. Um, just wait there. All right. I'm kidding, man. I'm not bringing him in.
I kind of figured you weren't, but
You had a bad experience with that, man. Woo!
yeah, I guess. I mean, I just came to ask a question. My first time ever watching him.
You got to do your research with all the content creators because I've not had that before. Not with anyone. I know you got a lot of people that come in on your live streams as well who talk. I remember Tony's reviews about 2 3 years, yeah, 2 years ago. He came into Blue Blood's channel or someone else's, and he was talking with everyone about Wilder and Joshua, and I commended that. Um, and then I went to someone else's live stream once, and I disagreed with them on something. I was just in the chat, and then someone came in and started botting the chat with like all those advertisements and crap. And then I got accused of botting their chat. So I got thrown out. And then I put a tweet out and I said, let's just say I was very unhappy being accused of such a stupid thing. And yeah, I mean, on this platform, you just got to be careful, like you were saying before. Who we won't mention, but we got 4 in the building. In the chat, if you have more questions, please do drop them below. Let me see. They've released another Jamel Charlo fight. What other fights are there coming up?
I know that one PBC card pay-per-view Jamel. That's gonna be a big one. However, admittedly, I don't know what's coming up next. I kind of got swamped by last weekend, and
Daniel Dubois.
I've
That's
been
it.
playing catch up. What'd you think? Oh, I didn't get to talk to you about it, but I watched the Tim Zhu versus Jeff Horn. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I watched that live. First of all, what an unorganized event. And second of all, Tim Zhu's the truth.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah, I
truth.
think so.
And
I think.
you go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I think he'll be a good contender at 154.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really good. Crawford didn't do it like that. Crawford whooped his ass. He whooped Jeff Horn's ass, but he got hit a lot more in the process and he took a lot more risk. Whereas Tim just systematically broke that guy down. I mean, whoo, that was some good shit. That was really good to watch that. Did you watch that with the Australian commentary?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to hear that.
No,
Um,
it's good.
we had an English guy. We had Jeff Fennick, and we had another guy, and then we had in the freaking in within the bit from the sports center wherever we had a guy that's in charge of another sport who's talking about boxing,
Yeah.
which is very bad football. IBT said he doesn't know how Wilder can deal with Fury jab. All he has to do is instead of backing up to get away from it, sidestep. And if you do that, Wilder will be in range to throw the right hand. Yeah, don't worry about the right hand, man. There's other tools he's got. It's not just the right hand, you know.
That's his favorite tool. I mean,
Huh?
that's his favorite tool. In all fairness.
It is his favorite tool, but he's got more than a right hand, like people want to claim. What do you call it? I'm going to be very emotionally invested in that fight. I think a few people know that. So please, can we bring Sophia back to Alabama? Because I want that shit. I want, I want Wilder to win. You know what I mean when I said bring Sophia back?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. The WBC title.
Yeah, okay. You know, that's good. I'm glad you know. Because some people don't know what that means till this day. So I mean, we'll see. Ah, damn it. Just dropped something. Um,
Yeah, so my response to that, I guess, is I'm not just talking about Fury throwing the jab, but it's the actual opportunity of throwing the jab, just the idea, right? He can feint it, he can stutter step it, he can do a stepping jab. And the first fight we saw, Fury would stutter step at jab range, and eventually Wilder, instead of reacting to the feint, he would just jab him as soon as he started stutter stepping. But Fury saw that, and in the rematch, he started stutter stepping from a distance that he couldn't actually even hit Deontay Wilder, and Wilder would react in a certain way very strongly, right? And that's when Fury would then step in and do the jab trying to the body or upstairs where he needed to. So if he decides to step over, Wilder does not have the most pristine footwork, to put it nicely, and that might put him in a vulnerable position for something worse than a jab, possibly a left hook to catch
mm,
him moving, or a right hand. So it's not really so simple as moving over and then throwing the right hand, especially if he does that in one fluid motion. He'll be off balance and be exposed to a big counterpunch, which wouldn't be good at all. I mean, first of all, getting counterpunch. Second of all, the disproportionate weight disadvantage for Wilder would make more counterpunches and clinches worse. He'd probably counterpunch him and then just start leaning on him. So it'd be a really bad situation. He's gonna need to really go back with this camp. I don't like his coach at all, but get back with this team and come up with a good game plan, because I really don't give Wilder a much of a chance in this fight. Not against him, nothing against him. Just I think this is maybe one of the worst style matchups for him.
you don't like his coach? Which coach are you talking about? He's got
JD is Mark Breland is great. Mark Breland,
why,
good.
why don't you like Jay, man?
I just don't think he's a good coach. I don't know,
You don't think he's a good coach?
not particularly.
I mean, he's been involved with the Olympics, the Nationals. He's coached other professionals. He's a great coach. It's
I
not
don't,
because you don't think he's just a good coach. There's something else.
No, I just think he really failed his man on the night. I really feel he's failed Wilder in his career in totality. Wilder has accomplished great things considering the limited assets and skills he has in his
Oh, fuck,
arsenal,
here we go.
relatively, right? I just think JD is, for example, when Wilder was getting battered, I thought he should have stopped the fight, save your man, come back with the rematch. You know there's a rematch, but instead he opted to let him take more damage, which I think is worse for his health long term.
I mean, I think he should have probably stopped the fight around earlier. Um, but you can't just go off of that and say he's failed him. Like you said throughout his career. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think he's offered the best advice in the corner. I feel like
really,
sometimes
have
he's
you
like,
seen him offering advice in the corner and every other fight?
yeah, I've seen him. I've seen it. I just not particularly impressed with what he has to say. A lot of it ends with and then throw the right hand or let your hands go. and I don't feel that's really constructive. If he was a motivational coach, I could understand that, but he seems to be trying to offer boxing advice, and I've seen him on the pads as well, and it looked kind of funny. No disrespect, but I
On the
just don't like
pads, on the pads, you're talking about when he's trying to imitate Tyson Fury, but Mark's the guy that's in the corner giving the advice. Like even Wilder says it himself. Like that's the guy. And then if Jay wants to add something, he can do so. But um, I know Jay personally, so I'm probably going to be a bit more biased. But Boxing Master, are you going to have on your live? Am I going to have someone on my? No, fuck that guy. Why are you mentioning him? Don't mention anyone. Don't mention Counterpunch. Don't mention him. Don't mention anyone on here. I don't want to know about those
don't
people.
mention IBT.
No, you can mention the guy because IBT is cool. You know, not that guy. Don't mention. That's the second time you brought it up. Pop Boxing Master. Don't you know? I'm not on here to argue back and forth with people, but if I'm going to correct someone, I will correct them because it's been since I swear there's not a fighter more lied about than Deontay Wilder. There's not like right now there isn't, but it's kind of things have kind of let's just say died down with Deontay. But I did find a clip of Wilder and Jay Diaz back in 2009 training. I could upload it, but it's not mine, so I'm not going to upload it. But it was great. It was a great watch. Let me see this chat.
Deshaun Thompson says, "Sorry, IBT, but if you think the UK about to hold all the belts and you got another thing coming, I don't care who I gotta pay off." That's
Who
pretty
I
funny.
got to pay off? No, Fury's losing that third fight.
How?
Oh, he's getting knocked out badly.
What round?
Fourth round.
Fourth. Okay.
If it's not a knockout, it's going to be a decision, and it's going to be a very messy fight. A lot of holding and a lot of this time not as much of Fury just holding and hitting, which is actually not completely illegal. Depends how you do it. Like if you're going to the body and trying to get space, it's not illegal. But not all the other shit he's doing. But I think a decision for Wilder if it's what do you call it? If it's gonna be messy, because like what I'm not in his corner, so I don't know what the plan is. But Tay Jones has said third round knockout, so I'm just gonna say fourth round. He got beef with LDBC. Yeah, IBT doesn't like the LDBC. What's the
Whoa, whoa,
community
whoa,
you're
whoa,
in?
whoa, whoa! That's not true.
What's not true?
I don't have any beef with anybody.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, you're not, you're in your own. What is it? The YTBC?
YTBC just means YouTube boxing community. That's a generalization for anyone who does boxing on YouTube. It's not an actual like. You get what I mean?
What's the other one? The
We're just a
unbiased,
corner.
the unbiased one,
Unbiased. That dude.
unbiased boxing community, and then there's
Sure.
the
Oh, the UGC. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, UGC.
What does UGC stand for?
Underground community. It's just a name. I just like those. I like the people there. They're cool. Been nice to me. Kind of.
They're nice,
They've helped.
huh?
They helped me when I first started. So
What about the LDBC? You like the LDBC?
yeah, sure, man. One guy I talk to every single day. He's a mod on a bunch of LDBC channels. Get to smoke. I disagree with him on a bunch of stuff, but it
Oh,
doesn't
I know
stop.
him.
Yeah, it doesn't stop us from talking boxing every single day.
Yeah. No, I'm just asking. That's all because like there's a few that are very pro and anti with certain YouTube groups, but I mean, let me see.
Oh, do you want to go back to the Spence Inoue thing? Or
Yeah, why not? Let's go back to that.
all right,
Spence is better, my friend, and in a real fight, he'd kill Inoue.
sure. I mean, they got what like a 80-pound difference. Inoue is like one. What does he rehydrate to?
Why
Spence
doesn't
walks
Inoue
around
just
at
go
like
to featherweight?
180. So why doesn't he go
Why
to
doesn't
featherweight?
Inoue just go to featherweight?
Well, I mean, why would he? He's comfortable at bantamweight. He's making weight. He's not even big for bantamweight.
He's not big for bantamweight. Let me look at one of his fights.
He's
Let me look
significantly
at one of
smaller
his
than
fights.
Donaire, and it's visible.
Oh, I'm looking at that fight right now. We're going to see
You can put
versus.
the weigh-in. You can do
What a
that.
terrible fight that was. That was a good fight. I'm
No,
kidding.
no, no, no. Stop. He's
I'm
five
kidding.
foot
I'm
five with
kidding.
a 67.5-inch reach.
Hold on. I want to see the face off. Usually with the face off, I don't know. There's just something I dislike about, um, Inoue.
What's that? Is it like his fans or is it actually him?
His fans.
Okay, so they got nothing against the guy then.
No. I just asked his fans like a question. You're saying there's a big height difference. Hold on, let me just
No,
bring this up.
size difference. Size difference.
Size difference. Height is size, my friend, as well. That's a factor.
No, it's a factor, but it's not the whole thing. Someone can be taller than someone else but have a bigger frame. For example, like a Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, one guy's only 2 inches shorter in the heavyweight
Yeah, but
division. But weight-wise,
that's different. Like, I mean, look at this.
look at what?
Can't you see? Am I sharing?
Yeah, no, you're sharing. You're sharing. Your screen's yellow again.
Oh my god, it's yellow again. No, I don't care.
Okay,
I
just letting you know.
mean, where's the size difference?
You want to put the weigh-in? I feel like it's probably not a good camera angle. Anyway, it's
The
closer to the
Wayne.
camera. The weigh-in?
The Wayne. All right, let me just see. I
Donaire's,
dislike Spence. Of course you do.
Donaire's 2 inches taller. He also has a 1 inch reach advantage. He's a
How
pretty
tall
big
is he?
guy for
5'7".
5'7", yeah.
The height difference really isn't that great for one.
It's not
Are
massive, but this is also a guy 2 divisions below, right?
you talking about the width?
There's this like shoulder width as well. He's also a guy who made light
Why
fly.
does Inoue look at people like he's about to jump them? You, my friend, are not intimidating, Mister Small Man.
He's not intimidating, but he's knocking dudes out. So I mean, I don't know.
I don't see a big sized. Yeah, Nanito's a bit. Yeah, okay, I see that.
Yeah.
He's knocking dudes out. He's got a right hand, and that is it.
That is hilarious coming from you. That is
No,
hilarious.
that's what he has. That's that. That's
No, his right hand's not even his best punch, but the fact that you said right-handed, that's it, and you're like, wow, there's
Oh
just
my god! Look, someone uploaded a video. Japanese Bruce Lee.
that's just
Oh,
like thumb. Sorry, not
how many? He's got like what? 16 knockouts out of 19 wins. He's
uh
got. It's the right hand every time. Oh
no, no,
no!
he's got
Sorry.
a vicious left hook. That's
Yeah,
his.
the hook to the body. The hook to the body.
Yeah,
Man, these guys that he's fought are just not good, man. I'm sorry.
based on what?
Well, for one, I mean, let me go back to the resume. Actually, I want to ask you this. Because we're talking about a Japanese boxer, and again, like Japan's not really a place. Like, just let me finish. Don't barge in and assume what I'm gonna say. Just let me
I'm letting you.
finish this, all right? You understand? Like Asia overall, that's not really like a place where the best come out, right? For boxing. Let me look here. Who's this guy who you fought? You're big on this Hernandez, right?
Okay. Let me just say, I think
You're
maybe.
butting up, my friend. You're butting in. Let me finish.
Okay.
I wasn't. Three back to back, two back to back losses. Okay. Draw loss. Okay. So you say that Inoue is a pound for pound, great, all this and that. We're not getting Mayweather versus McGregor too. So what do you think of, because he's a smaller weight and the demographics the same, Wenheng Menathion Lin, whatever his name is. What
Yeah,
do you think of?
I know you're talking about. Solid fighter. The one issue I do have with minimum weights is because they are minimum weights. Not a lot of people will watch them, and as a result, especially just the culture. For example, you want to look at the top two guys there, Moonsri and Niamtrong. Both those guys are from Thailand. These guys are known to fight in multiple combat sports, fight very often, and even if they have titles, they'll have non-title fights. And something a little more old school about them. For example, they'll have a title fight and then they'll fight a guy with a negative record. To me, I rate them off of their championship bouts, right? I look at the non-title fight as tune-ups basically. Um, I don't think that the undefeated record that doesn't necessarily matter to me. Like I said, it's the result of the title fights. He's a solid fighter, but one thing I don't like about minimum weights is that because they're so low profile in terms of they don't have a lot of financial backing, the incentive for making unification is much lower. And something I really like in boxing is unification, undisputed. People going up in weight classes, challenging more people, right? And unfortunately, the minimum weights, because of their size and popularity, they don't really get to do that. So I think he's a solid fighter, but I wouldn't put him on my pound for pound if that's what you're asking.
He's definitely one of the best to do it at that way. I mean, but you made a good point about the defenses. I mean, there's like if you go to 2013, non-title fight, title fight, non-title fight, non, and then a few title fights and then none. That's really bad. I mean, these guys are unranked, so you
Yeah,
don't watch minimum weight, do you?
I
No
don't.
one does.
I don't watch it very often. For example, let's look at where were you looking at when you talk about title fight? You want to talk about his first title fight to his second title fight. It's about 3 months. Then you want to go after that. It's about 4 months. Then he has a fight 4 months later, non-title fight. Has another fight versus Young Gil Bay. That is total of 5 months later. So in reality, if you want to forget that the non-title fights happened, they're still extremely active, which is commendable. But some people will look at their his third to last fight was against a guy with a 4-9-1 record. I definitely didn't watch that fight. Won't lie to you at all. But yeah, apparently he's gonna be coming to the U.S. making his U.S. debut. I don't know who he's gonna fight, but hopefully it's a good one.
Let me just see.
And for your point towards the Japanese fighters, if I may interject now, you're saying they're not very known for making great fighters, but I feel maybe you're conflating them not being known for making good fighters at the higher weights. They normally perform better at the lower weights, so I don't think it's really fair to dismiss
Well,
entire
why can't
country's
they?
talent of boxers based off of like a welterweight standard when clearly they're more suited to the flyweights and bantamweights and below.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's fair enough. I'm just looking at minimum weight. Oh boy, I can't wait to jump in with these guys. I'm getting slaughtered. There's a Mexican dude in the WBA. His name is Jose Castillo. He's 66 and 13. And there's another dude from South America.
What?
Mexico, Philippines, China, Japan, Thailand, South Africa, Uruguay. Yeah, it's a really weird division.
So what's that got to do with Inoue?
No, I'm just it's just I'm just talking about like in Asia, all the not just Asia, but you know um mostly in Asia, just the fighters that come out, and obviously in a way is better, you know, and he'd probably destroy those guys there at the bottom because how do you spell that guy's Moonsri? That's his name. These guys got the weirdest names. They got one name and then they got
Chai-Fum Win3 or there's one Hang and a Yothin. Either one works when you Google it.
Neon Trong. Yeah, I mean, actually, there was a guy from South Africa who won a belt, and then he just went up. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think in a way he's good. Just he's not as good as Spence. I mean, Spence's. Let me go Spence. The guy Spencer beat are really good. Like, you know, Porter's just an absolute animal. Former IBF, former WBC champion.
Well, he was
Mikey Garcia
WBC at
was a
the
pound
time.
for pound, 39-0. Ocampo, I'm not going to say because that was a light touch. Lamont
It
Peterson
was
was
Mando.
decent. Sorry?
It was a mandatory, so I'm not gonna knock him for fighting his mandatory.
What, Ocampo, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna discredit you
No,
for
I'm
fighting
not. I'm not
him.
gonna. I'm not gonna say anything about Ocampo. I mean, he was doing well for the first 2 minutes and 55 seconds, and then you know,
2 minutes.
Lamont put up a good fight in spurts, but he got completely shut down. Kell Brooks a really good win. Algieri was late. Was it or was it Phil LaGreco? One of them was late notice. Vargas. Let me look
Sammy
at
Vargas.
Samuel Vargas. No, that's not the guy. Colombian dude. Um, and then he's going to be fighting Danny. And he's unified as well. And I know in a way he's unified, but Spence for me. Spence for me.
Yeah,
It's a harder division. It's a much
I
harder
could
division.
see that if he were fighting, um, if he'd already fought everyone, like if Inoue fought everyone at bantamweight versus everyone at welterweight. But the thing is, if you want to compare the talent, you have to consider the other weight classes that Inoue went through, right? So he beat Hernandez, top guy at light flyweight, beats him, retains the championship, defends the title, moves up, knocks out Omar Andres Narvaez in the second round very easily. And, Narvaez is a long reigning former WBO flyweight, and at the time he was a WBO super flyweight champion. It was the longest reigning flyweight ever. It's like almost 8 years, I think. Um, Defended his title many times, 29 and 1-1. I think that win alone is probably better than anyone on Spence's record. Unfortunately, you also have him fighting Kohei Kono, top 10. I would relate Kohei Kono to a Danny Garcia-esque fighter in terms of ranking and accolade at the division. Although, like overall, I'd probably rate Danny higher than this guy, than Kohei Kono. Then he has three defenses, not necessarily worth mentioning. Moves up to bantamweight. That's when he really starts popping. Beats Jamie McDonnell. Every single person he's fought at bantamweight has actually been top three at one point or another, and I believe all of them were top three at the time because when he beats them, the new people enter the rankings, so the champions. Um, decimates McDonnell, decimates Juan Carlos Payano, decimates Emmanuel Rodriguez, and has a really good fight, but a decisive victory over Nonito Donaire. Nonito Donaire, like I mentioned earlier, future Hall of Famer. He's been rated top 10 since, like, I want to say 2006, 2007, something like that. To me, Errol Spence got a solid resume. I'd rank him number one at welterweight. I don't know how he is off the car accident, but just talking about resume, not including Manny Pacquiao, of course. Sean Porter as a champion. I think Sean Porter's improving too. Even in this fight, I saw his performance. This is probably one of his best performances, regardless of the loss. Mikey Garcia moving up, so he never competed at welterweight, but I still like Mikey Garcia as a fighter. So I'm not going to try to discredit that. Carlos Ocampo, mandatory. Lamont Peterson, um, solid win. Kell Brook coming off the Triple G knockout. Good win. I wouldn't say it's like one of those great wins or anything just because he was coming off of a knockout loss. He had to drain himself 2 weight classes down. Really terrible decision by Kell Brook because I feel it really stifled his career from there on out. Leonard Bundu is a solid win. Algieri is solid. Phil Greco and Sammy Vargas are solid, but really those guys aren't any better. In fact, I'd say they're worse by a sizable margin than Kohei Kono.
All right. That's good. Um, Let me just. Yeah, I think you made really good points. Like I can't really argue. You know. Let me just see this chat though, because Park was saying he got timed out.
He's got a wrench, so
Why am I timed out? How'd you get timed out? You're not timed out. I'm looking at the chat right now on YouTube.
yeah.
Parkour, you ain't timed out, my friend. Fuck Errol Spence, man. I'm glad he didn't die in that car crash, but fuck him.
All right. I mean,
Um, what are you on about, parkour?
let me say Deshaun Thompson for sure. I think Errol Spence would definitely knock out everyone that Inoue has fought, but also you have to consider the extreme size disadvantage they'd be facing. I'm just talking about proportionally what they've done in their respective weight classes. I feel that Inoue has a greater claim to pound for pound. Not to say I don't like Spence. I like Spence. I actually rate him. I said he's probably the number one welterweight. If you look at recent resume, obviously Manny Pacquiao, including him, would be kind of unfair. He's like all-time great, top 15 fighter of all time. But outside of Pacquiao, I want to compare recent work. I'd say Errol Spence Jr. Definitely has the edge. And he's gonna fight Danny Garcia next. Danny Garcia, people are calling it a tune-up. I feel like that is in a way to discredit Errol Spence Jr. if he were to win. This is almost a lose 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 for both of these guys. If he beats Garcia, they're gonna go, "Oh, who did Garcia beat?" And if Garcia beats him, they're gonna call Spence a hype job and they're gonna call him washed. That's just hater talk, though. I'm not really into that.
Yeah, I mean, credit for the win. I'm not really into putting down fighters, so yeah. Let me just say this for a sec. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up soon. I'll just go over one more thing. Crawford or Spence, who wins?
Right now, I would have to favor Crawford. Just I don't know what state Errol Spence is in, and I thought it was basically a 50-50 fight before, um, before the car accident. So I don't imagine he's improved after a car accident. It's kind of hard to gauge Spence right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that was a bad accident, man. I didn't expect him to do something like that. It's weird. It's like when John Jones tested positive. I never thought he'd do it.
I thought I thought he would. Not Spence, but John Jones. I don't really like him.
No, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like him at all. The UFC got a problem with their fighters. There's a lot of too much theatrics in that organization. I mean, I'm gonna watch it this weekend, but too much theatrics. At least here, it's a bit more sensible and a bit more serious. Let me just see. No, you didn't. I don't know why I'm timed out. You're not timed out.
If you have any issue with YouTube, just I don't know, maybe close it and open it again, or
Oh no, no, I got no issue. I just
no,
looked at
I'm
it
saying I'm
and
saying to Parkour Master.
oh, okay. Yeah, he's got no issue because he's not timed out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of strange.
All right, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. This one was longer than usual, actually, so it was good to have IBT, Boxing Truth, Immortal Boxing Truth on the channel today. All the people in the chat, could you please kindly subscribe to IBT Boxing Truth? He does good live streams. Go hit that red button on his channel, give his video some thumbs up, and interact in the comment section so you can discuss random boxing stuff with him or any topic he's done on a video. Um, Show his channel some love. Thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate it greatly, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, good. We'll definitely chop it up down the line. And for those in the chat, hope you all stay safe in this ridiculous, crazy time. All right. With that, I'm out. Peace.
Peace.